All right, what's up, guys? And hello again to my Facebook friends. First, shout out to everyone who I've either met in person who has messaged me saying that my videos have helped them because I don't really let that sit deep. I don't let myself feel that actually helps you guys. So I really appreciate that, and that helps me. I haven't made a video in a while. I've started uploading on my YouTube channel, so this is going to go on my YouTube channel as well. But for any new Facebook friends or friends, family watching this, if you're wondering what the hell this video is, let me get into this, okay? Because if you go far down into my Facebook profile, you can see my spiritual journey and what it's like, and the transformations I've gone through, and then the roadblocks. So recently in my life, I just want to keep this short and sweet and not go too much into the actual roadblock, and then get into the breakthrough that I just recently had. And just to preface this video, this is me explaining a recent experience I had through going on a 5-mile run. Very interesting, actually very spiritual and enlightening experience. So recently I've hit a huge roadblock in my life, not just romantically with my girlfriend and my relationship, but physically, my physical well-being, how far I push my body physically with lifting weights or running or exercising, and my business, how much money I allow myself to make. So I recently started running and working out again. I committed to that. Working out for me is not that difficult for me to go in and lift weights because, you can take rests in between and you just have to push through this set, which is only 30 seconds to 40 seconds. It's not that much. It's not as mentally taxing as running, if you will. So recently I've been, tracking my runs, listening to a lot of David Goggins. And if you guys don't know who David Goggins is, he's an absolute savage. He's a Navy SEAL. This man ran 100 miles. Absolutely insane. I think it took him a little over 24 hours. Absolutely insane. So I've been inspired by him. So I'm today, my girlfriend, we're hanging out, and she's like, okay, I'm going to go home, baby. I'm like, that's fine. And today, it's not been the best day. I woke up late, haven't been really on my shit. I didn't make the bed. I'm not in a good mental place if I don't make the bed. And for people who know what I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you don't make the bed, it's kind of just it's a fucking day. I'm just floating through the day with no intention of what I want to accomplish. So today was my run day because I weight lift 3 times a week and then run 2 times a week. I recently started this, so I'm like, okay, I want to go for a run. So I'm like, babe, let me take me back to your house and let me run back from your house to where I live. So I live in St. Petersburg, and she's a 10-minute drive, which is an hour run. And the most I've ever ran before, if I'm going back looking at my running logs, is 2.5 miles, maybe 2.3 miles, maybe of actually a jogging pace. And then the rest was just walking. So I'm going into this, I'm like, all right, I'm committing to this. I'm going to do this 5 miles, okay? And I'm going to run as much of it as I possibly can. And I'm not going to call an Uber. I'm not going to, it's 5 miles, not that big of a deal, right? But for me, it's a big deal. And I know the people watching this Mason, I run fucking 24 miles. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to get there. I want to get there. So we drive back to her place, and, she's worried. She's like, you're going to be running on the highway. You're going to have water. What if it starts raining? And I'm like, you sound like my mom right now, babe. I'm like, I'll be fine. Just let me do this. Let me do this. And she's like, well, what if it starts raining? Do you want me to come pick you up? And I remember saying to her, this was today, and I was like, what do you mean, babe? I'm committing to this, running 5 miles. Whether I'm going to fucking run the whole thing or walk some of the way, I'm going to do the 5 miles. And I know the 5 miles is so small in retrospect, but it's a big deal for me. And I was like, what's going to happen when we have kids and something happens with our kids and they need me and they need to depend upon me and they need to rely upon me? Am I just going to say, oh, it's raining now, I'm just going to take an Uber, or just come pick me up? I'm done with this commitment. I'm not going to follow through this with a commitment. She's like, yeah, well, that's different. That's a moral thing. I'm like, no, it's not. It comes down to commitment. I'm committing to this run, and I'm working on myself to become the man I need to be in order to bring children into this life. And that's just where my mind's been at recently. So I don't know if she fully got that, but she kind of did, because she's been with me through my entire, I don't want to say my entire journey, but recently she's seen me say I'm going to do things and then not follow through with my commitment, and then still supports me wholeheartedly, giving me all of her love. And shout out to you, So if you're watching this, I love you so much. Thank you for your support. Seriously, it means the world to me. Like, it's crazy that you just stick by my side, even though time after time again I keep like failing, but I'm failing forward. So anyways, we get to her house, and I have some water. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, yeah, this is going to suck, but I'm excited to see how far my mind can take me. I'm excited to see at what mile am I going to quit and start walking and stop jogging. And I'm excited. Like, I'm going all in with this. And this is just this is a personality trait I have. I always just like go in and then like think later. I don't like calculate things as much, right? And not to mention it's 90 degrees here in St. Pete and humid, so not fun to run in. Anyways, so I kiss her goodbye. I start running, and I'm off to a good start. I'm jogging. I have a good pace. You know, first mile, easy. I'm chilling, right? Starts near the second mile. I'm like, okay, this is normally like what I normally jog, like 2.5 miles. Easy. Starts getting around the 2.3 to 2.5 mile mark, and I'm like trying to pump myself up. I'm like yelling at myself. I'm like, don't you fucking give up on yourself. Like, this got spiritually intense for me. This was like me in my mind combating with myself, because every time I make a commitment to myself, I always end up not following through, okay? Or I half-ass it. And I'm like, fucking go. I'm facing this thing head on. This thought in my mind, like, you're tired. You can't do this. It's hot out. You have no water. There's no way you're going to make this. There's no way you're going to jog through this whole thing. There's absolutely no way. And I'm battling with this thing, and I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you're going to listen to me now. You need to listen to me now, because I've been playing this game for too fucking long, and this little fucking voice has been controlling my life for too fucking long. And I'm like, in my mind, waging war in my fucking mind. And it seems so dramatic, right? Because it's just a 5-mile run. And I think I get around like the 2.5, maybe 2.8 mark. And I start reaching like points in the road where I can stop, because I have to stop because traffic, right? Because I'm crossing the road. So I'm like stopping. And I'm like, you're going to keep running. You keep running. And I just start focusing on, okay, next stop sign, you can have like a couple second break. And I keep running. Until I think I reach like close to the 3 mile mark, where I'm just like, my internal self or my self-talk or my mind, my limiting beliefs, whatever, took over, and just like, you got to walk. And this is what I'm ashamed to say. Like, I'm proud of myself for running the 3 miles, because like, yeah, it's still it's the most I've ever ran for that period of time, like in my life, which is not that huge of a feat for any of my runners watching this, but it's a big deal for me, like I said. So just let me talk about this for a second. So yeah, so at that point, you know, I start just walking, and I'd pretty much given up at this point. And this is when it gets spiritual, because I'm realizing that yes, I could have kept running, and I could have pushed myself, like I know I could have, but I accepted that I wasn't going to run anymore. At some point during that internal war battle in my mind, I accepted that I'm not running anymore. I'm walking the rest of this. I don't want to say I accepted defeat, because I still accomplished the whole 5 miles, and I still, you know, got to the end goal, and I don't want to be too hard on myself. But I accepted, like, this is what I'm physically capable of. And I started thinking about, well, where else in my life is this little fucking voice coming in and accepting what I'm capable of? Like, is it how much money I can make, how much love I can give to the world, how deep I can go with my girlfriend in terms of exploring the realm of infinite love? Is this where I'm hitting the ceiling? Is this my threshold? Is this my fucking threshold? Is 3 miles. 3 miles is my fucking threshold. And I'm a young man. I'm in decent shape. I mean, I don't eat the best, but I'm starting to eat better. But it just got that intense. I'm like, is this really my fucking threshold? This is where we're gonna give up. And then I started thinking about all the areas of my life where I'd hit that threshold and decided. Like, the thing is, the threshold I realized from this experience is internal. It's an internal threshold I fucking set for myself. Like, my body, and this is interesting why I love David Goggins, because, you know, a lot of Navy SEALs say this, is that your mind quits at like 60%, and your body can still keep going another 40%. So I know deep down innately that I could have kept going, but my mind just fucking gave up. At the 3 mile mark, I thought I would go farther than that, right? So it's just, looking back at this whole experience, I'm like, okay, I committed to the 5 miles. I didn't I committed to the overall goal of the 5 miles, which I think I'm really good at in my life. I can commit to the overall goal of like, I'm going to keep working myself and doing whatever the fuck it takes to get to where I need to be and to unlock my full potential. No matter how many roadblocks I encounter, I'm going to keep fucking hiring mentors, coaches. I'm going to keep doing the fucking work. I'm going to keep doing it. And I don't care how many setbacks I have. I'm going to keep fucking doing it. Okay? Like, that's my overall goal. And that's how I went into this experience, thinking like, I'm going to commit to this 5 miles, right? But what I didn't commit to is a micro commitment of like, how many miles are you actually going to jog? How many miles are you going to walk, right? And that leeway was enough for me to just like start walking. And I just started thinking about every area in my life where I'd hit that fucking threshold, where my mind said, you can't go past this. This is who you are. This is what you're worth. You don't deserve more than this. I started thinking about my finances. I started thinking about, the clients I've worked with. I started thinking about my relationship with my girlfriend, of how far I've taken it in exploring the realm of infinite love. Like I said, I started thinking about so much shit. And I started seeing this invisible ceiling I'm putting over myself. And this is why, if you want to know what you really deep down believe you're capable of, because you can lie to yourself all day and say, hey, I want to make 10K a month, I want to make 100K a month, I want to do this. Like, you can fucking lie to yourself all day, but you'll always get what you subconsciously deep down feel you deserve, right? I can say, I'm going to run that 5 miles, right? But at that 2.8, 3 mile mark, my mind is checking out, and then I'm giving into it. And this is why I love running, and this is why, if you're watching this and wondering like, okay, I know you're saying, Mason, I've hit this threshold with like my finances or like making money or like my relationships with others. Like, go for a run, set a goal, say, hey, I'm going to run 5 miles, or I'm going to run 10 miles. Or if you just started running, say, hey, I'm going to run 2 miles, and see what your internal self-talk, see what your fucking mind is saying to you when you feel like giving up. See, like, that place of that internal war, when your body's like, not even your body, your mind is like screaming like, enough, stop, this is enough, you need to stop, you can't keep going, there's no way you can keep going, and you keep pushing a little bit further, you'll know what you're capable of. You can take that, how far you can push yourself physically, you can take that and apply that to every single fucking aspect of your life. And this is why I found a new passion for loving. Well, I love loving, obviously, but for running today, it's just, I love waging war with my fucking mind. So, this video, to summarize, I know it's kind of all over the place, but I guess the lesson of this video is to take a second and look at all areas of your life and try to figure out that threshold, whatever the medium is for you to figure out that threshold. For me, it's really the easiest and simplest way to figure out your threshold of like how much pain and suffering your mind can take before it checks out is just going for a run. Because it's just super simple. It's like, all you have to do is move forward. Like, business for me can get a little bit more abstract. I'm like, okay, what should I be focusing on today? How can I keep pushing forward? Like, it's not as clear. Whereas running is just, I'm literally just making my body move forward, and I'm going to keep fucking going. So what I recommend to you guys, or I should say, what I suggest to you guys is just maybe go for a run or figure out something where you can really push yourself to your limits and see where your self-talk comes in, and at least gain clarity on what that fucking ceiling is. Because from this run, I realized that somewhere along the way, my entrepreneurial journey, maybe a year or 2 years ago, like, I quit on myself, or I don't want to say I quit on myself because I didn't, I'm still pushing, but I accepted the limits of what I deemed was okay. In the same aspect with my run, I was like, okay, 3 miles, that's okay. You can't go anymore. Same thing with what I have now, nice luxury apartment, that's it, that's okay. It's not about the materialistic shit. It's just materialistic shit is a reflection of like my capabilities, whatever. So it's external reflection. It's a different story. So yeah, wage war with your fucking mind. See how far you can push yourself, and you'll really see what you truly deep down think of yourself and what you think you're capable of. And it's no bullshitting. There's no lies. That's why I love running and pushing yourself to the physical limits, because there's no lies anymore. You have to fucking face what you deep down feel like you deserve and you feel like you can accomplish. You have to deep down face that shit. There's no more like, oh, it's nice to mentally masturbate over the thought of running 5 miles or the thought of making 100 grand a month. When really, you're only running 3 miles. You set the goal for 5. Okay, get out there and actually do it and see what you're capable of. And then at least you have a starting point. You say, okay, this is what I've deemed acceptable up until this point in my life, and now I'm deciding to make a change. So much love to you guys. This one's getting long. And yeah, crazy experience, spiritual experience running. Highly recommend it. So maybe I'll upload another video on Facebook. This one's going on YouTube. I am uploading on YouTube more regularly. But yeah, much love to you guys.